Normalize not finishing books you're not enjoying. Hello, I'm Charlize, and today I'm going to be talking about DNFing books, or just not finishing books that you're not enjoying, and why I think that you should do it more often. So, I'm sure you have all heard of the reading slump and the term DNF, did not finish. So a lot of people fall into reading slumps, and I think one of the big reasons that people fall into reading slumps is because they don't DNF enough books. And I know a lot of people try to avoid DNFing books, and I'm here to tell you, you don't need to. DNF that book. Move on. So basically, what I do nowadays, since kind of getting back into reading somewhat recently, I didn't used to do this at all. I kind of used to force myself to finish books. But since I have sort of gotten back into reading, and I mostly listen to audiobooks now, so pretty much I'd say 90 to 95% of the books that I read are audiobooks. And there's things wrong with my brain. That's all I'll say. But basically, sometimes I'm listening to an audiobook and I just cannot get myself to focus on it. Sometimes I don't know why, sometimes I'm just not enjoying it. And if I'm not enjoying the audiobook, which is generally not the narrator, it's generally actually the content of the book. If I'm not enjoying it, I just cannot force myself to listen. Why would my brain listen to that when I could be thinking about potatoes or something like that? So there's no point in me listening if I'm literally not paying attention and I'm not even going to remember what happened. And there's a lot of books that I wish I had DNF'd, and by the end of them I'm like, why didn't I just DNF that? I didn't even know what just happened in that book. And yeah, it's totally fine to DNF books because and it doesn't have to be that you're not engaged and you don't think you're going to remember what happened. For me, I just feel like it's unfair for me to read a book if I'm not paying enough attention and then give it a rating when I don't really know why I didn't like it. Yeah, because sometimes I'm just listening to an audiobook and I just cannot pay attention for the life of me. And it's not even necessarily that I don't like the book. So I'm going to tell you about some of the books that I've DNF'd and why. Some of them I do DNF because I'm genuinely, I have a good reason that I'm not enjoying them. I am paying attention and I'm not enjoying them. A lot of the time, though, it's that I'm not able to pay attention. Or stuff's just going over my head and I can't keep up, basically. So I'm just going to go through my story graph, and I think there should be a section for books that I didn't finish. How do I find that? There's only 3 here. There's more books than that. Okay, well, I'll talk about these 3 to start with. So, very recently, I DNF'd Haunted by Chuck Palahniuk. And this is a collection of short stories. I was paying attention to this, but it was just a mess, basically. So this is a horror, and yeah, it's a collection of short stories, but it's kind of written as, I think it's written as 12 authors who go on a writing retreat to an island, and then the 12 stories are told by the 12 different authors. But that's just I would have much preferred it if the 12 stories were just 12 stories without the background story of the 12 authors. I don't care. I didn't care, and it was really confusing, and particularly the audiobook. Actually, it the chapters in the audiobook weren't lining up with the chapters in the book, which made it really confusing. I was like, is this the story about the authors, or is this one of the short stories one of the authors is telling? I'm confused. But I did listen to the infamous Guts story, which is what this book is most well known for, and that was horrifying. And genuinely, that was good. It was horrifying, but that kept me I was like, damn, if this was what the whole book was then maybe I would continue. But then I continued listening for a little bit and I was just not into it, so I just stopped listening to it. And that's it. Next I have Punk 57 by Penelope Douglas, and this one is another case of I genuinely was just having a bad time with this book. I was not having fun. It sucked. I'm sorry, but the romance was so toxic. It was just bad boy, oh my god, I'm attracted to the bad boy. I genuinely was just no, I'm not I'm not listening to this. So I DNF'd that one pretty quickly. Another big one is Outlander by Diana Gabaldon, and I actually got quite far through this one. I think I got more than 50% of the way through, maybe like 60 to 70% of the way through. And it was just so boring and slow, and I didn't care. And so I was like, I'ma stop. I don't care. And that was that. We good, Peanut? Oh, hi, Beep. One that I DNF'd because I couldn't pay attention to it was the, not the Night, I was about to say the Night Circus, but The Starless Sea by Erin Morgenstern. And this one was so upsetting. I really didn't want to DNF this one because I love The Night Circus. That's one of my favorite books. And I was really excited to read her new book, The Starless Sea. And I just couldn't focus on it for some reason. I still am open to the idea of reading the physical book because I was listening to the audiobook. I wasn't sure if, because it was such a kind of like intricate story, that maybe it would be better if I read it physically, because I did also reread The Night Circus on audiobook and I found it hard to concentrate on compared to the first time I read it, which was physically. So that one is a case of it's unfair of me to continue listening to this if I'm not getting anything out of it, and I think I should either try again another time or try the physical book. So I'm still open to trying that one. I know it's very hit or miss. There are also some books that I didn't DNF, but I wished that I did, because I came out of the book at the end being like, what the fuck did what did I just read? I don't even remember any of it. One of those is Daisy Jones and the Six by Taylor Jenkins Reid. This one's kind of like a mix of the two. I think I wasn't paying attention because I really wasn't enjoying it for actual reasons other than not being able to focus on it, basically. And then what else is there that I really wish that I DNF'd? The Raven Cycle. I'm sorry, but okay, I read all of them, and I couldn't tell you a single thing that happened. So yeah, I definitely should have DNF'd that. I also the most recent book that I finished actually, as of filming this video, was House of Hollow by Crystal Sutherland, and I ended up giving it 2 stars. And just, I really, I don't see what all the fuss is about, and I was just I was getting so annoyed at some of the tropey stuff and just a lot of cheesy lines, and by the time that I was okay, I'm not gonna finish this audiobook, I had an hour left, and I was like, oh, I may as well, but I wish that I had stopped earlier than that, basically. So my point is with this video that you should not feel like you have to finish a book because, say, you're a book reviewer, or if you're not enjoying it, or if you're finding it hard to pay attention to and it's possibly going to send you into reading slump, just don't finish it, and you don't have to go back to it. That's it. There's this weird kind of thing on BookTube, I think, where people where most people don't DNF, or very rarely DNF, but I think that it's actually out in the real world, I think it's actually very common for people to pick up a book, not like it, and then just put it down. But it's just for some reason it's on BookTube, it's kind of not a thing. So I'm just here to tell you, put that book down if you're not enjoying it.